Hey everybody, it's Mark again, and it's 20th of January. My water heater's not heating up like it's supposed to. So I just replaced this water heater about 10 years ago. I live out in the country. I get a lot of settlement because I have well water. I don't have an inline filter before the water heater. I have an inline filter, but it is not before the water heater. This is kind of weird how they got this set up. Can you see these? These are my hot water pipes going out of the water heater. This is the cold water pipe going into the water heater. You see it's coming from the ceiling. I have a two-story house. The way they made this water heater, for some reason, they got the water going upstairs first before it goes into the water heater, which makes no freaking sense to me whatsoever. But I didn't want to change it all out when I got this place. I was trying to get a loan, and so anyway, I'm not going to change all the water pipes out to suit my needs. But taking a ohms meter, put it on ohms. This is the way ohms works. Currently, you have no ohms, but when you touch the two leads together, it will go to 0. Okay? It's kind of like you touching your fingers together. When you touch your fingers together, it completes a circuit. It goes to 0. The other part, you got your fingers out from each other, you have resistance. Ohms is measuring resistance in electricity, okay? These elements, and let me show you what an element looks like. This is an element. It's connected by a pipe. It's a piece of metal that goes to here. There's voltage that's connected to the end of these, but as you can see, this goes into the water, and this pipe is what heats up the water. Typically, these elements, the very bottom one, goes out first. It is my understanding that the bottom element is the one that comes on second, which makes no sense to me whatsoever, because the bottom element is where all the water is. You would think that it would come on first, and the top element would come on second, but it's from my understanding, and I could be wrong on this, I'm not an electrician, is the bottom element comes on second. Anyway, I got the meter on ohms, and I'm going to touch the two screws on the element. And this top one, I've already know it's going to have about 12.5 ohms, 12.3, 12.2. It's kind of bouncing between 12.2 and 12.5. But the bottom one is worse. I'm going to see if I could take... I thought I was recording this. I guess not. So I'm going to do it all over again. The bottom element. Again, meters on continuity. You should be able to see it's jumping all over the place. That tells me that the bottom element is bad. For $35, you can get this entire kit at Home Depot. Contains both elements, gaskets, lower thermostat and upper thermostat. So I've hired my neighbor. He's coming over after church, and he's going to put all this stuff in. First thing you want to do is turn off your power. Second thing you want to do is grab your electrical tester, put it on the appropriate voltage, and test to see if you still have voltage in there. And if you do, shut off your power some more. As you can see, I got these marked. However, you want to verify, because you don't want to trust this stuff that's marked. You want to verify that your power's off. After your power's off, the second thing you want to do is connect a water hose, or maybe the first thing you want to do is connect a water hose to the bottom, run that water hose outside, and drain your water. But you want to do that second is after you turn your power off. Once you have got your water drained all the way, you take your tools, and I've got one of these tools. I just don't have it in here. It's a pipe about 10 inches long, something like that. It's got holes in it, and each side has got different wrench sizes. And you stick that pipe over that, and then it's got holes in it that you stick a screwdriver in the pipe, and that way you can take the elements out. It's after your water's drained. If you take those out right now, you're going to have water coming all over you. And then after you replace the thermostats and the elements, you want to put water back in it before you turn the elements, the power back on. Because if you don't, you get a good chance of burning up your brand new elements. Last thing I want to talk about is the thermostats. The thermostat has got a temperature setting on it. If you're living alone, and if you want this thing on the hottest setting there is, it's your house, it's your feet, it's your body, do what you want. But if you have young children, a wife, people that come over that will take a shower or whatever, keep them in mind. There should be instructions on the back of this thing that says the recommended setting. Put it to the recommended setting. Leave it to where it's currently set, which is about 100 degrees. When I was in the 4th grade, we lived in Ohio. The house that my parents bought didn't have running water at first. We used a well. We had an outhouse. If you don't know what an outhouse is, Google it. After my dad finally put a running water in the house, he didn't like taking a hot bath. He didn't like using cold water to run his bath water. So he would run his bath water. He didn't. He would have his children run the bath water to where we would use just hot water, fill the bathtub up, and then go back in later and shut the water off. While he watched TV, the water cooled down, and then he went later and took a bath. Here's a bathtub. Wall here, wall here. You turn it on and off right here. There was a kitchen sink right here. There was a toilet right here. I was chosen to run his bath water. I was in the 4th grade. I was turning the water off. You had to climb on the side of the walls to turn the water off. I slipped. I fell into the bathtub. Jumped out of the bathtub, hit my nose on the sink, ran out of the bathroom into the kitchen area, and that's where I was screamed to my mom. And she came, and because she is from the deep south, sharecropper family, they always use butter and lard for burns. The doctor said that was the worst thing she could have done. We lived out in the country. We had to go to Marysville Hospital in Ohio, which was about a 30, 40-minute drive, something like that. I don't remember. I was in the 4th grade. And we get to the hospital. The family doctor didn't want to treat me. I was in the hospital for a month. I was out of the hospital for a month. I was in school at the time. The teachers, I think, felt sorry for me because they didn't hold me back that year. I still passed the 4th grade. But for years, I had giraffe-looking colored feet, different colors on my feet because of the 2nd, 3rd-degree burns. My point is, don't turn the water up that high. Be considerate on the other people that are living with you. I love taking a hot bath myself, but I'm not going to have my water temperature at scalding. This thing goes from 90 degrees Fahrenheit to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, I would recommend leaving it in the middle. I hope y'all like this video. Leave me a thumbs up. One more thing to talk about. Like I said, I was doing all this, and then I looked down at my phone, and it wasn't recording. How do you know that you gotta replace this stuff? For about a week, my hot water has been extremely hot, and that's one of the signs that you are fixing to lose your water heater, or that you need to replace elements and thermostats. It's because your hot water gets extremely hot. And so I knew that my hot water was going out. I was just hoping that it didn't go out in January. But anyway, it is what it is. $35 versus the cheapest water heater that Home Depot has right now is over $400 plus tax. I'm going to go with this. Give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, and may God bless each and every one of you. I just wanted to make sure I gave you all the right information, so I did a quick Google search. You're required to, per Whirlpool.com, you're supposed to turn your power off before you check for continuity. And with the power off, the upper element reads 11.5 ohms. Whirlpool.com also says that it can be between 5 and 25 ohms. Upper element reads 11.5 ohms. The bottom element doesn't read anything. With the power on, I told you it's fluctuating. You even saw it was fluctuating. But with the power off, it doesn't read anything. And I already told you at the beginning that I thought the bottom element was bad because it was fluctuating way too much. But with power off, it doesn't read any resistance whatsoever.